Curious for a whole hour of awesome facts? Smash that subscribe button. Zarpado is kicking off right now. The famous singer David Bowie had one eye that looked different from the other due to a fight with his friend George Underwood in his teens. The blow to his eye caused a permanently dilated pupil, anisocoria, which contributed to his iconic look. Australia has a massive fence, known as the Dingo Fence, that stretches for more than about 3,500 miles. It was built to keep dingoes, Australian wild dogs, out of the fertile lands in the southeast to protect livestock. It is one of the longest structures in the world. In ancient Egypt, embalmers often broke the mummy's nose so they could remove the brain with a hook. They believed the heart was the seat of intelligence in the soul, so the brain was simply discarded and not preserved. Sloths only come down from trees to defecate and urinate once a week. This act makes them extremely vulnerable to predators, so they defecate in a makeshift latrine at the base of their preferred tree. During the Renaissance, some physicians prescribed mummy powder made from ground Egyptian mummies as a cure for various ailments. It was believed that the power of the pharaohs would be transferred through this macabre remedy, a practice that lasted until the 19th century. The chili pepper does not contain capsaicin, the substance that produces the burning sensation, in its seeds. Capsaicin is concentrated primarily in the white inner membrane that surrounds the seeds. The seeds are often coated with capsaicin from the membrane, leading to the common misconception. Acclaimed director Steven Spielberg was rejected twice from the University of Southern California Film School. He eventually attended another university and, after his success there, was invited back to USC. In fact, he donated money to build the building that houses the film school where he was rejected. It is a classic anecdote about success despite academic rejection. The famous singer Elvis Presley had a collection of police badges and had himself named an honorary officer by several police forces. His obsession with law enforcement was so great that he often carried a badge with him. Salted crackers were invented by Josiah Bent in 1801. Their name comes from the crack sound they made while baking. Tabasco sauce was invented in 1868 by Edmund McIlhenny, and its recipe has been a closely guarded family secret ever since. The factory is located on Avery Island, Louisiana, and still uses the oak barrel aging process. The mystery of the Nazca lines in Peru is that some of the figures, like the spider and the hummingbird, are so large that they can only be fully appreciated from the air. The people who drew them had no way of seeing their finished work. Poveglia Island, near Venice, Italy, was used as a mass burial ground for plague victims. Today it is abandoned and known as the world's most haunted island due to legends of ghostly victims. The hardest known plastic is diamond. The Mohs scale of hardness, which measures scratch resistance, rates it at 10, the highest. It cannot be scratched by any other material. The Roman Emperor Caligula not only made his horse consul, but also ordered his army to collect seashells from the shore. He called the shells the spoils of the ocean to symbolize a victory over the sea god, Neptune. Mount Rainier in Washington State, United States, is an active volcano with the largest amount of glacial ice on a single summit in the world outside the Arctic and Antarctic. If it erupts, the combination of lava and ice could cause catastrophic lahars, volcanic mudflows. There is a rare phobia known as taphophobia, which is the fear of being buried alive. This phobia was common in the 19th century, leading to inventions such as safety coffins with escape mechanisms or bells to alert passers-by. The first color television commercial aired for the cereal brand Cheerios in 1953, coinciding with the introduction of color television in the United States. The famous artist Hieronymus Bosch signed his works in a peculiar way by hiding small self-portraits or figures of himself in the corners of his chaotic and detailed landscapes. Scientists have discovered that Earth's inner core is spinning faster than the Earth's crust, but this rotation speed is unstable and can change. In 2023, a study was published suggesting that the inner core's rotation had slowed and may have begun spinning westward, away from the surface. For the first time in decades, the 1939 film Gone with the Wind had such a large costume budget that more than 1,000 garments were created for the movie. Many of Scarlett O'Hara's costumes are considered iconic in Hollywood. The famous explorer and aviator Amelia Earhart was also a pioneer in aviation fashion. She designed and sold her own line of clothing, which had practical features for flying, helping to fund her passion for aviation. Ancient Rome had a strange custom during festivals. The inhabitants engaged in wrestling matches between women dressed in skimpy costumes, an unusual spectacle for the typically conservative Roman culture. The iconic character of Mickey Mouse was originally created by Walt Disney for a pencil advertising campaign. The 1997 film Titanic was the first film to gross over $1 billion worldwide, setting a new standard for success in entertainment. Nike used Michael Jordan's face in an advertisement that was never aired but became a cultural icon in its own right. The manchineal tree, Hippomene mancinella, which grows in the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico, is known as the tree of death and is extremely toxic. Its small, apple-like fruit is poisonous if ingested, and its milky sap is caustic. If it rains, water dripping from its leaves can cause severe skin burns. Greek fire was an incendiary weapon used by the Byzantine Empire, particularly in naval battles, from the 7th century AD onward. Its formula was a closely guarded state secret and has since disappeared. It was remarkable because it could continue to burn in water. Historians believe it contained naphtha, sulfur, quicklime, and perhaps saltpeter. Its loss has frustrated modern chemists. The Congo River in Africa is the deepest river in the world, with areas reaching depths of over about 720 feet. It is also the only river to cross the equator twice and is the second largest river in the world by volume after the Amazon. Its extreme depth and strong current make the aquatic life in its depths highly isolated and unique. The Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta in Colombia is the world's highest coastal mountain range. Its highest peaks, Pico Cristobal Colon and Pico Simón Bolívar, rise to about 18,950 feet above sea level and are only about 26 miles from the Caribbean coast. This results in an extreme ecological transition from tropical beach to snow in a very short distance. The longest war in history lasted 335 years between the Netherlands and the British Isles of Scilly, from 1651 to 1986. Not a single shot was fired. The 1975 movie Jaws made people afraid of the ocean for life. This is a rare phenomenon known as the Jaws effect, where a movie influences real-life behavior. Peanut butter was invented by Dr. John Harvey Kellogg as an easily digestible source of protein for his patients at the Battle Creek Sanitarium. In the 19th century, dentists used human teeth from cadavers to make dentures. These teeth were known as Waterloo teeth because of the number of deaths in the battle and were a popular material before the development of porcelain. The famous singer Michael Jackson has a statue of himself located at the top of the Tower of Westminster Abbey in London. It is the statue of the Martyr of Compassion. Elvis Presley had such an extravagant diet that he traveled with his own personal chef. One of his favorite sandwiches was the Fool's Gold Loaf, a bread roll filled with peanut butter, mentioned in datum 939, jelly, and bacon. The ancient Spartans were so disciplined that they had a special diet called black broth, melas zomos. It was a pork stew with blood, salt, and vinegar, so unpleasant that it was said a man would not fear death after tasting it. The koala has such a low IQ that it often fails to recognize eucalyptus leaves as food unless they are attached to a branch. If offered a eucalyptus leaf on a plate, it will often ignore it, as the movement of the branch is part of its food recognition process. In India and many Middle Eastern cultures, the left hand is considered ritually impure or unclean. Therefore, it is disrespectful to offer food, gifts, or money, or to shake someone's hand with the left hand. Politeness dictates the exclusive use of the right hand. The famous Hadrian's Wall in England was built by the Romans to separate their territory from the unconquered tribes to the north. It was about 73 miles long and took about 6 years to complete. The country of Argentina has a glacier called Perito Moreno, which, unlike most glaciers, is still growing. Periodically, it blocks a lake's outlet, causing water to accumulate until the pressure breaks the ice dam. Kubera Cave in Abkhazia, Georgia, is the deepest known cave on Earth. Its vertical depth is over 7,200 feet. It is known as the Everest of the underground world. There is a rare phobia known as nostophobia, which is the fear of returning home. This condition is often triggered by traumatic events or anxieties related to one's home environment. The famous singer Freddie Mercury studied graphic design and art at Ealing Art College in London. He designed the famous logo for the band Queen using the zodiac signs of the band members. Classical composer Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart wrote his first musical composition at the age of 5. By 6, he was touring Europe playing for royalty. His prodigious talent manifested itself at an incredibly young age, quickly surpassing his father's musical knowledge. He wrote his first complete opera at the age of 12. United States President Rutherford B. Hayes, president from 1877 to 1881, was the first to install a telephone in the White House. However, he used it so infrequently that the White House number was 1, reflecting the novelty of the technology at the time. Ancient Egypt had a minor deity named Tawret, the goddess of childbirth and fertility. She was depicted as a combination of a hippopotamus, a lion, and a crocodile with human breasts. The Budweiser beer brand was the first to use aerial advertising, with airplanes riding in the sky in 1946 over Yankee Stadium. The iconic line, "Frankly, my dear, I do not give a damn," from the film Gone with the Wind generated considerable controversy due to the strict Hays Code, which censored expressions considered offensive. Its inclusion was only possible thanks to an amendment that authorized words like damn when they were essential to the scene. This permission made it a landmark for its audacity at the time, although it was not the first time that expression had appeared in film. Vierljeppen is a traditional Dutch and Frisian sport. It involves using a very long pole, up to about 43 feet, to jump over a water channel as far as possible. The competitor must run, jump onto the pole, climb to the top, and then bend down to land softly on the opposite bank. It originated as a practical way to travel in the marshy lowlands. Musician Elton John is known for his flamboyance, but he collects rare wellies. It is said that he owns more than 500 pairs of designer rain boots. The city of Venice, Italy, has a law prohibiting the feeding of pigeons in Street Mark Square. The law was implemented to protect historical monuments from bird droppings and damage. The famous singer Dolly Parton always sleeps with her makeup on. She does this in case she needs to run for her life in an emergency or earthquake. The World Series was the first sporting event to be fully sponsored by a single brand, Gillette, in the 1950s. The giant sequoia, Sequoia dendron giganteum, the largest living organism by volume, has surprisingly small seeds. Its seeds are about the size of a grain of oatmeal, and fire is needed to release the seeds from the cones. The wildfire clears away competing vegetation and prepares the soil, allowing the tiny seed to germinate into the world's largest tree. The Brocken specter is an unusual optical phenomenon often seen in the mountains, especially on the Brocken in Germany. It consists of an enlarged shadow of an observer projected onto the clouds or fog below the ridge, often surrounded by a rainbow halo. The shadow appears gigantic and sometimes moves due to the movement of the clouds, making it look like a ghost. Vanilla is the second most expensive spice in the world after saffron. This is because its cultivation requires the hand pollination of each flower. Gatorade's famous slogan, "Is it in you?" was one of the first campaigns to focus on the emotional connection between the athlete and the brand. United States President George Washington owned a whiskey distillery on his Mount Vernon estate. After leaving the presidency, it became one of the largest liquor producers in the United States. During the medieval period, wine was often considered a safer drink than water, especially in cities. This was because the fermentation process killed most of the harmful bacteria present in contaminated water. However, wine was not drunk neat but was often diluted with water to reduce its intoxicating effects. In the 19th century, animals were tried in Europe for crimes against people or property. Accused animals could be represented by a lawyer and could face the death penalty. British Prime Minister Sir Winston Churchill was struck by a taxi in New York City in 1931. Churchill was on vacation and forgot to look left, the opposite direction to what he was accustomed to in England. When crossing a street, he suffered serious injuries, but the incident gave him time to finish writing a book. The invention of the small tea bag in 1908 was an accident. Merchant Thomas Sullivan was sending tea samples to his customers in silk sachets, and they assumed they should submerge the entire bag in water. The famous explorer Hernán Cortés was the first person to bring vanilla and cacao seeds to Europe from Mexico. The mystery of the Bermuda Triangle is partly attributed to the presence of large reserves of methane hydrates on the ocean floor. If released, they could reduce the buoyancy of the water and sink ships. The Fuggerei village in Augsburg, Germany, is the oldest social housing complex in the world still in use. It was founded in 1516 by Jakob Fugger the Rich. The symbolic annual rent paid by residents is the equivalent of €0.88 plus 3 daily prayers for the founder. The word snollygoster is an archaic American slang term for a clever but unprincipled politician, often motivated by self-interest rather than the common good. The word was most popular in the 19th century, and its use by President Harry S. Truman in the 1950s briefly revived its use. China has a massive engineering project to divert water from the south to the north, known as the South-North Water Diversion Project. It is the most expensive civil engineering project in the world, surpassing the cost of the Panama Canal or the Channel Tunnel. Axolotls, Ambystoma mexicanum, not only regenerate parts of their bodies, but they can also accept transplanted organs from other axolotls without their immune systems rejecting them. This immune tolerance is a key point of study for medicine. In the 16th century, the scientist and astrologer Tycho Brahe wore a metal nose as a prosthesis. He lost it in a sword duel with a cousin in 1566 and replaced it with a brass, or perhaps silver and gold, prosthesis that was glued on. The famous singer Michael Jackson owned a pair of diamond-encrusted socks valued at $1 million. He wore them during his performances to accentuate his dance moves, especially the moonwalk. The pineapple, Ananas commosis, is not actually an apple, nor is it a pine cone, hence the English name, pineapple. It is a multiple berry formed from the coalescence of many small berries. Each eye or scale on the rind is the remnant of an individual flower. Its complex flowering and fruiting biology makes it one of the most interesting fruits. The musician Stevie Wonder was the first artist to use a synthesizer to create the bass line in a pop song, the famous bass in the song Superstition. Cayenne pepper does not come from the city of Cayenne, but from the Tupi word keen, which means hot pepper. The world record for the longest distance football goal was about 315 feet, achieved by goalkeeper Tom King in a 2021 football match. The goal was scored in the EFL Championship in England. The ball traveled from King's penalty area to the opposing goal, aided by a strong wind. The Pontifical Swiss Guard, the Pope's Guard, has a requirement that all its recruits must be single Swiss citizens, Catholic, and at least 5 feet 8 inches tall. Their uniform was designed by Michelangelo himself. The famous explorer Henry Hudson was marooned in the Arctic by his own crew in 1611 after a mutiny. His exact fate remains one of the great mysteries of exploration. The Pine Gap in Central Australia is a joint United States-Australian defense and satellite base and is one of the most secretive and heavily guarded areas on Earth. Its remote location is ideal for satellite surveillance and espionage, as it is far from any electromagnetic interference from cities and is strategically central. Salvador Dalí once gave a lecture in London, dressed in a full diving suit and helmet. He nearly suffocated during the presentation because he forgot to open the helmet's ventilation mechanism. The famous singer Freddie Mercury was buried in a secret location. His partner, Mary Austin, is the only person who knows the exact location of his ashes, respecting his wish for posthumous anonymity. Japan has a small island called Okunoshima that is entirely populated by rabbits. It is believed they were released there after World War II. Elvis Presley was a fan of the Captain Marvel Jr. comics. His famous caped costume was an homage to this character. The 1939 film Gone with the Wind was the first color film to win the Academy Award for Best Picture. The innovative use of Technicolor technology was key to its visual impact and success. The renowned artist Jackson Pollock developed his drip painting technique after observing indigenous sand painters at work. He was fascinated by their method of painting without touching the canvas. The 100 Years' War, from 1337 to 1453, between England and France did not last exactly 100 years, but 116. The name is a historical simplification of a series of intermittent conflicts for control of the French crown. Actress Audrey Hepburn was writer Truman Capote's original choice to play Holly Golightly in the 1961 film Breakfast at Tiffany's. However, Capote had written the role with Marilyn Monroe in mind. Monroe turned down the part on the advice of her acting coach, who told her she should not play a lady of the night. Water polo was one of the first team sports in the modern Olympic Games, starting in 1900. However, in its early iterations in the 19th century, the game was much more violent and was called water football. Players often had to fight underwater to get hold of the ball, resulting in a lot of brutality. The coldest possible temperature in the universe is absolute zero, which is 0 Kelvin or about minus 459 degrees Fahrenheit. In theory, at this temperature, particles would stop moving altogether, although in practice, due to quantum mechanics, they always retain a minimum zero-point energy. The coldest known place is the Boomerang Nebula at around 1 Kelvin, about minus 458 degrees Fahrenheit. Queen Victoria's famous diamond crown, the one on Mount of the Cross, did not fit her head. It was made after she became Empress of India. The royal jeweler made a mistake and made the crown too large for Queen Victoria's small head. The error was corrected by adjusting the size of the internal headdress. The Sargasso Sea is a sea within a sea. It is the only body of water defined not by coastlines, but by 4 ocean currents: the Gulf Stream, the North Atlantic Current, the Canary Current, and the North Equatorial Current. It lies in the middle of the North Atlantic Ocean and is characterized by unusual calm and a large amount of floating seaweed of the genus Sargassum. The Admont Monastic Library in Austria is the largest monastic library in the world. Built in the late Baroque style, it is famous for its stunning design, white walls and gilded bookshelves, frescoed ceilings, and lindenwood statues representing the 4 last things: death, judgment, heaven, and hell. It houses approximately 2,000,000 volumes. The city of La Rinconada in Peru, located at about 16700 feet above sea level in the Andes Mountains, is the highest permanently inhabited settlement in the world. Its economy is based on gold mining, but its inhabitants suffer from extreme weather conditions and a lack of essential public services such as drinking water and sanitation. The male peacock can have up to 200 feathers in its tail, called a trailing tail. The purpose of this enormous and colorful tail is not only to attract females, but its weight and bulk serve as a handicap. If a male can survive and escape predators with that weight, it demonstrates superior genetics to the female. Basketball was invented by a Canadian, James Naismith, in 1891 in Massachusetts. At first, players used peach baskets, and after each basket, they had to climb a ladder to retrieve the ball. This slowed the game down until someone realized that the bottom of the basket could be cut out. Decaffeinated coffee is not 100% caffeine-free. FDA regulations in the United States require that decaffeinated coffee must have 97% of its original caffeine removed, meaning the remaining 3% is approximately 3 to 5 milligrams per cup. This is significantly less than a regular 95 milligram cup, but not zero. Director Christopher Nolan is known for his aversion to smartphone and email technology, and in fact, he does not own a personal cell phone or email address. This is unusual in Hollywood, but it allows him to focus without distractions and forces him to have face-to-face conversations, which he prefers. The renowned Mexican artist Frida Kahlo painted 55 self-portraits out of her 143 total paintings. She said, "I paint myself because I am often alone and because I am the subject I know best." Much of her work was created while she was bedridden, recovering from numerous ailments and accidents. Table football was played in England in the early 20th century. Two teams of players sat at opposite sides of a dining table and kicked or hit a tennis ball back and forth across the table, aiming to score in the opponent's goal. It was a surprisingly physical sport and often led to the destruction of the tables. The Lisbon earthquake of 1755 was not only devastating, killing tens of thousands, but also had a profound impact on the European Enlightenment. Its brutality, on All Saints' Day, November 1, challenged the philosophical notion that the world was perfect and rationally ordered, inspiring the works of philosophers such as Voltaire. Switzerland does not have an official capital city in its constitution. Bern is the seat of the federal government and acts de facto as the country's capital, known as the federal city, Bundesstaat. This ambiguity reflects Switzerland's decentralized political structure. Pitch Lake in Trinidad and Tobago is the world's largest natural asphalt deposit. It is approximately about 246 feet deep at its center. This natural asphalt is firm enough to walk on, although it slowly sinks if you stand still for too long. Its asphalt was used to pave the streets of London and New York. The inventor Thomas Edison distrusted sleep so much that he strove to sleep as little as possible. He claimed he only needed 3 or 4 hours a night and considered sleep a waste of time, a relic of our caveman ancestry. His biographers suggested that he often took naps with great skill to compensate. In Russia, if someone gives you flowers, the number of stems has significant meaning. An even number of flowers is reserved for funerals, while an odd number is given for life or celebrations. Giving an even number of flowers to someone who is alive can be considered a sign of bad luck or, in the worst case, a grave offense. The 1939 film Gone with the Wind holds the record for the longest kissing scene in the history of classic Hollywood cinema. The kiss between Scarlett O'Hara, Vivien Leigh, and Rhett Butler, Clark Gable, lasts 24 uninterrupted seconds. This was remarkably long for the time. The harpsichord was the first keyboard instrument that allowed the musician to control the volume of the sound, loud or soft, through finger pressure. This dynamic control was not possible on earlier instruments. The term pianoforte, piano and forte, means precisely soft and loud. The product Teflon, polytetrafluoroethylene, PTFE, was discovered by accident in 1938 by chemist Roy Plunkett. He was originally searching for a new refrigerant. He opened a cylinder containing gas and found a white, slippery powder inside that turned out to have non-stick and heat-resistant properties. Golf was banned in Scotland by Parliament in 1457 because it interfered with military practice, specifically archery. The ban was finally lifted in 1502 when King James IV himself became an avid golfer. The 1980 film The Shining required actress Shelley Duvall to perform the iconic baseball bat scene 127 times. Stanley Kubrick wanted her character to experience an authentic level of physical and mental exhaustion. The Roman Emperor Constantine the Great not only legalized Christianity but was also the first to establish Sunday as an official day of rest and worship. Based on the tradition of sun worship, sriracha hot chili sauce contains no artificial additives or colorings. Its deep, bright red color comes solely from the ripe red jalapenos used in its production. The mystery of the Sphinx of Giza deepens with evidence that it may originally have had a nose that was destroyed, probably by erosion or artillery fire in the 18th century. The invention of the zipper is attributed to Gideon Sunback in 1913. The zipper was not popular at first because it was seen as a device for children, not adults. Cats cannot taste sweetness. This is because they lack a specific taste receptor for sugar in their taste buds. The mystery of Stonehenge deepens with evidence that the smaller blue stones originate from the Preseli Hills, about 150 miles away in Wales. Ethiopia was never formally colonized, making it the only African country to maintain its sovereignty during the race to Africa. The famous explorer Juan Sebastián Elcano completed the first circumnavigation of the Earth in 1522. He assumed command of Magellan's expedition after Magellan's death. Did you know that Dolly Parton is Miley Cyrus's godmother? The legendary singer accepted the role at the request of Billy Ray Cyrus, with whom she was very close, and has since been an important figure in Miley's life, accompanying and supporting her career from its very beginning. The first car to receive a speeding ticket was traveling at about 8 miles per hour in 1896 in England. The speed limit at the time was about 2 miles per hour. A city in Switzerland has a law prohibiting keeping goldfish alone in a fish tank. They are considered social animals that suffer from loneliness. The Antikythera mechanism, recovered from an ancient Greek shipwreck, is an analog device over 2,000 years old, considered the oldest analog computer in the world. Its complex bronze gears were used to predict solar and lunar eclipses, as well as the movements of celestial bodies. The American poet and inventor of the Gothic poem, Edgar Allan Poe, had a particular hatred for baseball. In a humorous essay, he mocked the game, describing it as a sport for little boys and grown-ups who should know better. It is funny to think that the master of horror would have found such a quiet activity as baseball so offensive. Musician Bob Dylan was a huge Elvis Presley fan. His first composition, at the age of 10, was a tribute to Elvis. The famous artist Claude Monet suffered from cataracts in his later years, which affected his perception of color. His late water lily paintings show an overuse of red and yellow tones because the lens of his eye filtered out blue. The Bering Strait is so narrow that, at its midpoint, it separates the United States and Russia by only about 2.5 miles across the Diomede Islands. In winter, sea ice often connects the two continents, although it is illegal to cross it. Black pepper is the most traded spice in the world. Historically, it was so valuable that it was often referred to as black gold. In 1980, a man named William Bill Phelan from Oklahoma tried to sue NASA for freezing the weather in his hometown. He claimed that space rocket launches were the direct cause of the low temperatures. The first mechanical alarm clock could only ring at 4 a.m. It was invented in 1787 by Levi Hutchins. It took several decades before alarm clocks could be set for any time. There is a rare phobia known as gerophobia, which is the fear of aging. This phobia can lead people to an extreme fear of the signs of aging or to avoid any activity that reminds them of the passage of time. The hottest chili pepper in the world, the Pepper X, has an average of 2693000 Scoville heat units. It is so hot that its creator, Ed Curry, is the only person who dares to eat it whole. The famous artist Michelangelo almost always slept with his clothes and boots on. It is said that he did this to avoid wasting time changing, as he was obsessed with his artwork. Finland has more saunas than cars. The sauna tradition is so important that it is often considered an integral part of the culture and social life, with around 3 million saunas in the country. Michael Jackson tried to buy the rights to Marvel Comics in 1990 so he could portray himself as Spider-Man. Although negotiations progressed and he met with Stan Lee, the deal fell through because Marvel was in financial trouble, leaving Jackson without his Spider-Man dream. The famous explorer and aviator Amelia Earhart disappeared in 1937. The United States government spent $4,000,000 on the search, the most expensive operation of its kind in history up to that point, but no remains were ever found. Snails have 4 nostrils and can sleep for up to 3 years at a time. They have rudimentary eyes and move on a protective layer of mucus. The famous artist Gustav Klimt was known for wearing tunics and sandals while painting, regardless of the occasion. This attire contrasted sharply with the formality of Viennese society at the time, reflecting his bohemian and eccentric nature. The invention of sunglasses dates back to prehistoric Arctic times, where Inuit people used ivory or bone with small slits to block the sun's glare on the snow. They did not have lenses. They only reduced the light. The famous explorer Ferdinand Magellan named the Pacific Ocean. He called it that because, after passing through the treacherous Strait of Magellan, the waters seemed unusually calm to him. The Mississippi River is about 2,340 miles long. What is fascinating is that the river is so long that, on average, it takes 90 days for a drop of water to travel from its source to the Gulf of Mexico. In the 17th century, the famous astronomer Johannes Kepler attempted to write a science fiction novel called Somnium. The book was so complex and full of footnotes that it was banned by the church. The musician Bob Dylan is the only artist to have won the Nobel Prize in Literature, an Oscar, a Golden Globe, and a Grammy Award. The turkey was considered such an exotic delicacy in the 16th century that it was brought to Europe and confused with the guinea fowl, which was imported via Turkey. This is where the English word turkey comes from and how it was adapted into other languages. The 1968 film 2001, A Space Odyssey features a famous scene where the computer HAL 9000 sings Daisy Bell. This was the first song ever sung by a computer in real life. In 1961, the famous explorer Vasco da Gama was the first European to reach India by sea, rounding Africa. This opened a crucial maritime trade route. The parrot is one of the few animals that can learn to speak by imitation, but it does not have vocal cords. It uses the muscles in its throat to modulate the air. Greenland has a natural phenomenon called watermelon snow. It is a type of algae that grows on the snow and produces a red pigment, giving it a slightly sweet, watermelon-like smell and taste. The Sahara Desert was not always a desert. Between about 11,000 and 5,000 years ago, it was a lush, green region with large lakes, vegetation, and animal life. Cabbage is considered one of the oldest vegetables cultivated by humans. The ancient Egyptians considered it a hangover cure. Pizza was considered a poor man's dish in Naples until Queen Margherita of Savoy fell in love with a version topped with tomato, basil, and mozzarella. In 1974, NASA sent the Arecibo message into space. It was a 1,679 bits radio transmission containing information about Earth's location and the composition of human DNA. The banana is the world's most exported fruit. Most of the Cavendish banana, the most common variety, is grown in Latin America and is susceptible to a fungal disease that threatens its survival. The famous artist Caravaggio was known for his violent temper and legal troubles. In 1606, he killed a man in a sword fight over a tennis bet, which forced him to flee Rome and live as a fugitive. United States President Andrew Jackson had a parrot named Pole that had to be removed from his funeral. The parrot began cursing uncontrollably, disrupting the ceremony. The first newspaper in history was not printed, but handwritten and published in ancient Rome. It was called Acta Diurna, daily events, and contained news of politics, trials, and executions. The famous explorer Hernán Cortés first brought chocolate to Europe from Mexico. The Spanish nobility kept the delicious secret of the hot drink to themselves for almost a century. The ancient Incas used a system of knots and colored cords called quipu to record data. It is believed to have served as a form of accounting and even a writing system. In 1971, a man named D.B. Cooper hijacked an airplane, demanded $200,000, and then parachuted out of the aircraft. He was never found, and the case remains an unsolved mystery. Elvis Presley was actually a natural blonde. He began dyeing his hair black in the late 1950s to achieve his iconic look. Andrew Johnson, President of the United States, never attended school and reached adolescence unable to read or write. It was his wife, Eliza McArdle, who patiently taught him these skills, enabling him to build a political career that would take him to the White House. The modern to-go coffee cup is attributed to New Zealander Richard Fine, who in 1989 created the first cardboard cup with a plastic lid. His design revolutionized the way people consume coffee on the go. The explorer James Cook often took live pigs on his expeditions as a source of fresh food. Many of these animals were released in places like Hawaii and Australia, where they eventually became integrated into the local ecosystems. The Sumerians were the first to conceptualize the wheel, but its initial use was not for transportation. They employed it in pottery making, facilitating the creation of vessels using rotating potter's wheels. In Argentina, the National Sun Festival is celebrated every year, a massive event dedicated to solar energy, the harvest, and fertility. It includes parades, music, and shows that draw thousands of people. The Gobi Desert, located in Central Asia, is the world's largest cold desert. Its winters can reach extreme temperatures of up to about -40 degrees Fahrenheit, creating a landscape as harsh as it is breathtaking. Tyrannophobia is a rare phobia that describes the fear of being tickled with a feather. It is often related to discomfort with vulnerability or a loss of personal control. The War of Jenkins' Ear, between 1739 and 1748, was a conflict between Great Britain and Spain triggered by an unusual incident. An English captain lost his ear to Spanish coast guards, leading to rapidly escalating tensions. Ice cream was originally a delicacy reserved for royalty and the elite. The Chinese developed the first versions, and centuries later, Marco Polo brought the idea to Europe. Tea was accidentally discovered by Emperor Shen Nung in 2737 BC, when some leaves fell into his boiling water. Upon tasting the infusion, he was delighted with its flavor and properties. The first laser printer was invented in 1969 by Gary Starkweather, an engineer at Xerox. Its original name, Laser Beam Scanning Copier, shows how futuristic it seemed at the time. Explorer Robert Falcon Scott, on his expedition to the South Pole, was the first to use a motorized sled for support on snowy terrain. Although rudimentary, it marked a technological advance for polar exploration. The American Idol program was a pioneer in integrating sponsors into the show itself. The judges appeared drinking Coca-Cola and using Ford products, making advertising a part of the spectacle. The Assyrians created the first known library, the Library of Ashurbanipal. It contained thousands of clay tablets with cuneiform writing, preserving knowledge of mathematics, mythology, and astronomy. Commentator Howard Cosell was the first to use the word snapshot to describe a slow-motion replay. His expression helped to define this television tool. Woodrow Wilson is the only United States president with a doctorate, which he earned in political science. Before entering politics, he was a professor and president of Princeton University. Audi was the first brand to broadcast an advertisement in outer space in 2007. The message was humorously aimed at potential customers on the moon. The famous slogan, "Say it with flowers," was created in 1917 by a florist, becoming one of the first examples of emotional and effective marketing. Musician Stevie Wonder was the first person to receive a Grammy Award presented by a robot, a symbolic gesture celebrating technological advancement. The famous McDonald's jingle, "I Am Lovin'." It was originally performed by Justin Timberlake, who received $6 million for his participation. The painter Rembrandt was a passionate collector of exotic objects and unusual clothing. He owned armor, Roman busts, and Oriental costumes, which he used to lend greater authenticity to his self-portraits. The Sumerians developed the first known form of writing, cuneiform, inscribed on damp clay tablets with reed styluses. Lake Baikal, in Siberia, contains about 20% of the planet's unfrozen freshwater. It is also the deepest lake in the world, reaching depths of over about 5,200 feet. Elvis Presley had a twin brother, Jesse Garon, who was stillborn minutes before him. Elvis always felt that his brother's shadow haunted him throughout his life. Black, green, and white peppercorns all come from the same plant. What changes is the harvest time and the drying process, which produces distinct flavors and colors. In badminton, the feather shuttlecock can reach speeds exceeding over 185 miles per hour, making it one of the fastest projectiles in world sport. Pig Beach is an islet with no permanent human presence, known for its curious inhabitants, very sociable wild pigs. These animals enjoy swimming in crystal-clear waters, resting in the sun, and approaching visitors. They have become an unusual and charming attraction in the Bahamas. The company Adobe has surprised the world with a futuristic garment, a smart dress capable of transforming its appearance with a simple touch. Thanks to advanced technology integrated into the fabric, the outfit can change color and patterns instantly. This invention represents a revolution in the field of digital fashion. The Guangzhou Circle, located in China, is an architectural structure about 453 feet tall that stands out for its circular shape. Its design is inspired by ancient traditional Chinese coins. Considered symbols of wealth and good fortune, this building combines modernity with ancient cultural references. In regions like India and Pakistan, trucks stand out not only for their size, but also for their striking aesthetics. These vehicles are meticulously decorated with colorful paints, mirrors, metallic embroidery, and lights that glow at dusk. Each truck becomes a unique piece that blends folk art with personal symbolism. Cecropia moths are notable for the beauty of their wings, adorned with striking patterns in shades of red, white, and black. These designs not only make them visually stunning, but also serve a defensive function in nature. They are one of the largest moth species in North America, and their mesmerizing appearance has captured the attention of scientists and insect enthusiasts. The binturong, also known as the bear cat, is a peculiar creature native to Southeast Asia. Its appearance is a mix between a small bear and a large cat, with thick black fur and a prehensile tail that it uses for climbing. Most curiously, its body odor resembles that of roasted corn. In Norway, atop Mount Kjerag, lies an astonishing natural formation, a rock wedged between two vertical cliff faces. Known as Kjeragbolten, this enormous boulder is naturally wedged hundreds of feet above a precipice. It is a popular destination for hikers and adventurers who dare to pose on it for an unforgettable photo. The sword-billed hummingbird is distinguished by its extraordinary beak, which is approximately 25% longer than the rest of its body. This unique anatomical feature allows it to access the nectar of flowers deep within the tree, inaccessible to other birds. Thanks to this advantage, it occupies a very specific ecological niche, and its agile and precise flight helps it maneuver effectively despite its disproportionately large beak. Rising from the Tasman Sea, Ball's Pyramid is an imposing, rocky island of volcanic origin. Completely uninhabited, it rises about 1,840 feet above sea level, its vertical shape reminiscent of a needle sculpted by nature. Its solitary and abrupt structure makes it a unique geographical phenomenon, and despite its isolation, it has sparked the interest of adventurers and marine biologists. The mannel, also known as Pallas's cat, is a wild feline that inhabits the cold steppes of Central Asia. Its peculiar appearance, with a perpetually angry expression, is due to the shape of its skull and its widely spaced eyes. Solitary and elusive, it is perfectly adapted to mountainous and icy environments. The Mumbai Trans-Harbour Link is an impressive feat of infrastructure and currently the longest sea bridge in India. This enormous structure connects Mumbai with Navi Mumbai, facilitating transport and significantly reducing travel times. Stretching over 12 miles, it represents a key advancement in the country's urban mobility. An American creative designer designed a miniature scene depicting a haunted cemetery with ghostly figures that appear to levitate in the air. To achieve this effect, he used Pepper's ghost, a classic method that uses reflections to create spectral optical illusions. This technique, used for centuries in theatrical performances and haunted attractions, ingeniously brings the invisible to life. Among the most surprising inhabitants of the reefs is the triggerfish, known for its prominent and sturdy teeth. Its powerful jaws are designed to efficiently crush crustacean shells and mollusk carapaces. This ability makes it a specialized predator in its environment. Although not very large, its presence commands respect. In 2004, French authorities made an unexpected discovery deep within the catacombs of Paris, a fully equipped clandestine cinema. The space featured a screen, seating, and even a functional projection system, all hidden underground. Its origin was unknown, but it was attributed to an artistic collective. Tropa bicornis is a curious aquatic plant native to Asia, recognized for its unusual-looking fruit. Its shape resembles the silhouette of a bat or even a small skull, which has sparked both cultural and ornamental interest. The fruit has a black and extremely hard shell that protects the seeds inside. Dragonflies have a curious behavior. They use their front legs to clean their eyes, gently rubbing them as if drying them. This gesture allows them to remove raindrops, dust, or other particles that interfere with their vision. Since their eyes occupy a large part of their head and are essential for hunting and orientation, keeping them clear is vital. On the island of Madeira, Portugal, there is a truly unique spot, Cascada dos Anjos, a waterfall that plunges directly onto a coastal road. Water gushes from a cliff and flows across the asphalt as if it were part of the urban landscape. Vehicles passing by receive a kind of natural shower, turning the journey into a unique experience. Would you dare to sleep hanging over mountains? In Italy, the Highline Meeting Festival brings together slackline enthusiasts suspended between mountains, even hanging from hammocks at extreme heights. Pure adrenaline, incredible views, and a global community for the bravest. In the US, the startup Lit Motors presented the C1 vehicle, a hybrid of a car and an electric motorcycle that self-balances, reaches up to about 171 miles per hour, and offers about 6 hours of range. A girl named Emmy lives with her snake, Cher, as if it were a common pet. They grew up together, and their relationship is so close that they spend time cuddling. Cher was raised among humans, and Emmy learned to interact with her without fear. Disney has created humanoid robots called Stuntronics, capable of performing impossible acrobatics. They are designed to replace human stunt doubles on attractions at its theme parks. Lemon caviar is a finger-shaped fruit native to France. It has acidic spheres inside that explode when bitten, offering a fresh, citrusy flavor. It is highly prized by haute cuisine chefs. The Barkley Marathon in Tennessee, USA, has only been completed by 18 people since 1986. Runners must cover about 224 miles with about 6,600 feet of elevation gain. It is considered the toughest on the planet. Pastry chef Natalie Sidzerf creates hyper-realistic cakes that resemble sculptures. He's replicated everything from human faces to entire meals. One of his viral cakes was an edible portrait of Willie Nelson. Bruce Campbell lives inside a Boeing 727 converted into a home. He bought and adapted it in the middle of an Oregon forest. Now it's a unique tourist destination. Photos of the F-16CI, taken in low flight over Wales, show the pilot in action. The sharpness is such that you can see every gesture on his face. Lucas Zanotto, an artist hired by the Finnish brand Polig, created the world's smallest cup. Everything was made to scale to make the tiniest coffee. Mini advertisements. The world's largest Wurlitzer organ is at Organ Stop Pizza in Arizona. It has 1,074 keys and was inaugurated in 1972. Eating pizza with music like that is another level. In traditional Chinese cuisine, there's a curious ingredient known for its dark, fine, thread-like appearance. Fat choy, a cyanobacteria reminiscent of tangled hair. This organism, which grows in arid areas of northern China, has historically been highly valued during Lunar New Year celebrations. Beyond its neutral flavor, its popularity stems from the fact that its name phonetically resembles a phrase expressing prosperity and fortune. In the tropical rainforests of South America, there's a bird that's impossible to ignore, the umbrella bird. From the genus Cephalopterus, it sports an awn-like crest and a kind of hanging tie on its chest. There are 3 known species, and its exotic appearance makes it one of the most peculiar birds in the world. On the other hand, an electric unicycle called Emotion Adventure appears, reaching speeds of about 50 miles per hour and up to about 124 miles of range, offering a compact and completely sustainable design that seems straight out of the future. Meanwhile, in Italy, an amusement park in Nervesa, created by Bruno Ferri and his grandson, features 45 rides powered only by gravity and human power, without a drop of electricity. With an inspiring story, Clay Dyer, a professional fisherman born without limbs, competes using his neck and shoulders, proving that passion and willpower can overcome any limitation. In Peru, there is the Chane Timpishka River, which boils at 194 degrees Fahrenheit due to geothermal activity in Puerto Inca. Its sulfur-rich water is prized for its medicinal properties. For techie fun, a YouTube channel built a breakfast machine made entirely of Legos. Capable of frying eggs and bacon, it demonstrates what can be achieved with just blocks and creativity. Pete Big Elvis Valet is an Elvis Presley impersonator who performs in Las Vegas. Not only does he nail his voice and movements, but he's also won thousands of fans for his unique charisma. The Smith People Mover is a horizontal lift that functions as a moving walkway. It goes up, moves, and goes down, all without changing angles. Ideal for modern architectural spaces, the small two-scooter was created by Tom Wilberg. It has wheels measuring about 0.63 and 0.87 inches. It looks like a toy and only reaches 1.2 miles per hour. Yet, it's fully functional. Matt Jordan transforms wooden blocks into art using a lathe and resin. His videos show the entire process step by step. Photographer Jan van Eyjeken captured on video how a salamander forms from a cell. The result is an astonishing visual journey into the miracle of life. PigeonBot is a curious advancement in the field of nature-inspired robotics. This is a flying robot developed with authentic pigeon feathers, allowing it to accurately replicate the movements of real birds. This ingenious device was created by a team of scientists whose goal was to study in detail the biomechanics of bird flight. The roseate spoonbill, scientifically known as Platalia ajaja, is a fascinating aquatic bird, notable for its vibrant pink hue, very similar to that of flamingos. This striking coloration is no coincidence, as it comes from the pigments present in the food it consumes, mainly small crustaceans and aquatic organisms. Mimi Choi is a makeup artist who has taken her talent to a completely unusual level. Her specialty is creating hyper-realistic optical illusions on her own body, using her face, arms, or legs as a canvas. Thanks to her mastery of artistic makeup, she is able to transform her skin into surreal scenes that challenge visual perception. Barry Marshall, an Australian doctor, was the protagonist of an experiment as risky as it was revealing. To prove that certain bacteria were responsible for gastric ulcers, he decided to deliberately ingest a concoction laden with the bacteria. Soon after, he developed clear symptoms of this condition, leaving the medical community speechless. In recognition of his contribution, he received the Nobel Prize in Medicine in 2005. Petite cereal is a gourmet cereal made up of small, artisanal croissants. Each package contains approximately 250 carefully handcrafted miniatures. Available in New York, this luxury product costs approximately $50 per box. Its production involves a meticulous process that includes dehydration, a glaze with sugar and cinnamon, and finally, baking, giving them a delicious, crunchy texture. Martin Vaca, famous for his unconventional automotive creations, performed one of his most astonishing feats by converting a Boeing 727 into a working limousine. The aircraft, now retired from service, underwent a radical transformation. Its wings were removed, and its structure adapted so it could legally operate on roads. Ryoyu Kobayashi, one of the most prominent names in Japanese skiing, performed a spectacular jump that has gone around the world. He traveled about 955 feet in the air during an 8-second flight. This feat took place in Iceland, where Red Bull installed a special ramp designed exclusively for the athlete to attempt this unprecedented feat. The Asian water buffalo, or wild buffalo, has immense horns that can measure longer than a compact car. According to Guinness, they reach about 14 feet from tip to tip, an impressive endangered animal vital to its ecosystem. Australian ecosystems are home to a truly striking reptile, the ruffed lizard. This peculiar animal is recognized by a fan-shaped fold of skin that surrounds its head and can unfold dramatically. This mechanism is activated as a defensive strategy when the lizard senses danger, increasing its apparent size to intimidate potential predators. In northern Thailand, specifically in the city of Chiang Rai, stands a one-of-a-kind work, Wat Rong Kun, also known as the White Temple. This construction is not a conventional temple, but a fusion of the sacred and the contemporary. Its gleaming white structure, adorned with inlaid mirrors, represents spiritual purity and the clarity of Buddhist knowledge. The Yancheng Dafeng Dream, located in Jiangsu Province, China, holds the Guinness World Records title for the largest permanent labyrinth on the planet. This impressive structure has been designed to offer a unique experience of exploration and challenge, attracting visitors from around the world. And that is all, folks. Do not forget to like and subscribe for more interesting facts.